But that's something that you can't do. You can't touch, even though it's legal now in some places.
Right.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
Right. And some people are like, hey man, I want to chill. I want to go be a hippie.
Yeah.
And if that's your lifestyle, that's what you like to do. You want to be in the GovTech space. Can't do it.
If you are trying to see the world,
you ain't gonna do it.
GovTech just makes it that much difficult to see the world. What's going on, tech team? It is JustMyTechCents, where we talk tech, finance, and lifestyle. My name is WillDoesTech, and I'm joined by my co-host,
JohnnieTech. What's up, Tech fam?
JohnnieTech in the building. Round of applause.
Wrap it up.
Round of applause for JohnnieTech being in the building. Discipline is what we talk about. Discipline is what he is about.
Daily deposits.
Sure.
That's the move, man. Daily deposits.
That's the move. Okay. Well, how's your day going?
Oh man, it's going swell.
Swell.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess enough with the niceties, since everything is going swell for you. I'm glad to hear that. So today we wanted to talk about GovTech and some of the things that aren't talked about, some of the downfalls of actually working in the GovTech
You mean to
space.
tell me there's downfalls?
Yeah, I mean, that's what isn't talked about. So you probably haven't. Well, I mean, you work in the GovTech space, so you know what the downfalls are.
I've never heard anybody mention it.
That's true. It hardly does ever go unmentioned, and that's one of the reasons that we want to talk about it. So it's So we talk about the glitz and glamour of the GovTech space and how easy I'm not going to say easy, but how stable it is once you get in of, keeping that job. But there are a few things that, if you aren't used to the GovTech space, can come as a shock to people. And one of the ones that I saw a lot of times was the adjustment especially for young people, of losing their phone and losing their access to the world.
Right.
Because depending on where you work, and a lot of times you're working in classified places or locations, you're not going to be able to bring your phone with you, right? And it does come as a shock, because we are a connected world, and letting go of your phone for 8 hours on the day.
All your devices. Remember, no phone, watch, all type of things.
Anything with Bluetooth or all that has to
Wi-Fi, any type of service.
Right.
Some headphones you can't even bring.
Yeah, a lot of headphones you can't bring.
Right.
A lot of technology you can't bring.
You realize how much stuff you can't bring when you get in that space. You realize, I had a lot of technology on me. I didn't,
Yeah.
So,
what you realize is how, and nobody really cares about your secrets. I mean, maybe they do, maybe they don't. I mean, they care about data. But when it comes to GovTech, right, protection of data is of the utmost importance. And you realize that a lot of these devices that seem harmless to you, the government knows that there are hidden doors that an adversary can tap into and capture information, which is why they say, hey, leave it in the car. You have to go through scanners before you go into the building, and don't get caught in the building.
Right.
Don't get caught in the building with a phone and it goes off. That is the absolute worst. When you're in a cubicle environment and a phone rings, people know that it's different, right? Because it's quiet, and then actually people can be talking.
Right. It's like, that definitely shouldn't be there.
And you hear a ringtone, everybody stops.
Yeah.
Everybody stands up, and they look around.
Ringtone, any type of notification, like they're like, oh, that's definitely not supposed to. And then there's times where I've seen where people coming in, like there's these guys that come in. There's something in the building.
Oh yeah,
I hope that's not me.
Right. You're double checking, triple checking.
I hope that ain't me with something in the building.
You're right.
You got to give it up.
You're right. Yeah, you'll see the. They look like the popo, right?
Right.
They just walking around with their scanning device, and as you said, it makes you double check your pockets to make sure that it wasn't you, because they've detected something,
right?
And it's somewhere, and hopefully it's not you, because when you lose that phone, Right. I mean, it is now with the government, and the government can do what it wants to do, and then it returns the phone to you when they're done.
Right.
And that can be weeks.
Yep.
And
they're going through it. So if you
and they're going through it. So if there are images, videos, anything that you do not want the government to see,
they've seen it.
Oh my goodness. So I've been fortunate to never be in that predicament. Right. But I have seen people turn red in the face when their phones have gone off, and when you, I was going to say when if you tried to hide it, right, you might get away with it for a year, but when that poly comes up and they start asking questions, and that doubt is in your mind, and you start thinking about what.
Yeah, nah, you can't do it.
They're like, oh, no, something's wrong here.
I always, just to go back to that point, I always thought it's like pretty funny. Like we say, like those po-po come in.
Yeah.
Like when my team was there, we always look like, let's see who's going to run back to their car real quick. Like, nah, they had
it's a telltale sign, right?
Right.
Right. Who's going to the bathroom, right?
Right. Like I check my pockets, like I'm good. I started seeing who's getting up.
Yeah.
But nah, it's always funny.
Yeah, I always, before I just never brought it into the building. I never got used to it. So at the end of the day, my phone would be dead because it'd be, overheating.
Right.
So just something that, you had to deal with. But I never wanted that to happen ever. So I just take major precaution. Right. And even to the point where I felt like the pants that I was wearing, like if I felt any kind of like, pressure on the side of my pockets, I'm like, nah.
Right.
I don't want nothing in my pockets.
No, I get what you're saying. And I think like, so we're talking about phones in general, but I think like that holds more weight today because of everything you're seeing with like, I mean, we're doing it. We have a brand, like the growth of social media, people kind of recording everything they do.
Yeah.
And like, if you work in this space, if that was like somewhere you want to go and that's something that, you kind of hang your hat on, you're not going to get any of that stuff done. So I think that's another thing that people won't get in the sense of that. Or if like for me personally, there's certain sites you're not gonna be able to get to that are very basic when you're there. So it's like I think that there's a lot of things when you're working in the GovTech space that you're not necessarily gonna, you may not be used to it, right?
Right.
So like even for your job, like you want to look up certain details.
Yep.
You might want to use ChatGPT.
Yep.
You're like, oh no, you can't use it. You can't put certain information. So it's like, oh, if you if you've been using it, I mean it's newer, but if you've been using it to help you with your career, you may not be able to go into the GovTech space and even utilize some of the things that you're used to using.
Right.
You can't access it.
Right.
And that's just ChatGPT and other tools as well.
Yep. And so one of the other things was is good luck with getting vitamin D. Right. Windows. There are very few windows. Again, we're trying to keep information secret, right? So
it's a story about the man. I ain't gonna tell it on camera, but it's because it's actually kind of sad. It's not even funny. So I'm not even gonna say nothing.
Okay, but
yeah.
But there is a lack of windows, and that is on purpose.
Right.
I mean, it makes sense. That prevents any kind of spying through windows because, as we know, technology is sophisticated. Satellites, drones.
And you make it sound like they're gonna be in jail, man.
What do you mean?
Like the environment sounds like they just caged in.
I mean, again, it kind of feels like that. I mean, depending on now, if you're in a prime position, you might have a window, right? A little slit of a window, and you can kind of look out the window, and that's it. But most people don't have their own windows to look out to, and when you do, it's a compound.
Right. I mean, I know I've worked in a safe before, pretty much. Like,
yeah.
Close the door, takes a pin to get in, or whatever. Yeah. And you're just in there all day, and it's freezing.
Yeah.
So
your safes, your skips, and I mean these are heavily classified environments. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying every single GovTech space you're going to run into this, but it's just something to be cognizant about because if they have upper classification networks running through the building, then that's something that you will encounter. Right. So,
and I think for some people, like it may not be discouraging at all, but it's like it's good to just know. Like people don't really have an idea. People are talking about GovTech all the time, getting that space, but they don't really know what comes with it at all.
Yeah.
Right? So we're just talking about some of like I'd call them, I guess, amenities of like when you're working with a company of some sort, like you just won't have these,
Yeah. Yeah. What else can you think of? Because if you can't, there's like travel briefs, right? Like if you are trying to see the world,
you ain't gonna do it.
GovTech just makes it that much difficult to see the world. And not saying that you can't. There are just certain hurdles that you have to get over in order to actually see those things. So again, not saying that you cannot, will not, but there are places that are off limits. And every single time if you are leaving the country, you will be receiving some kind of brief, just depending on.
You gotta put that information in. Don't leave without telling them.
Do it early.
Right. So if you we're all adults now. You get to move freely. This is almost like being back at your parents' house. Like, where you going? What time you going? Where you staying? Who you gonna be with?
Yep. And then when you come back, where'd you go? Where'd you stay? Who'd you talk to? Right. There's a debrief that comes along with that. But again, that it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense if you haven't been in the space.
Right. And I'm gonna tell you, number one thing. I mean, some people may do it, but I know I don't do it. I'm not trying to meet any foreign friends because that's gonna have to be well documented. It's probably gonna hold you back from doing a lot of stuff in the GovTech space. Like so. Yeah, that's a big. I've seen people's clearances get held up for months to years because like they have different contacts. So like I just like, hey man, I'm good.
Yeah, yep.
I'm good.
Cut it off. Cut it off. I agree with that 100%. That does because when you're going for your certification for your clearance, it's an extensive background check.
Exactly. And
you don't want anything to get in the way of what can actually get you a clearance. Exactly. And foreign contacts will do just that.
That's the number one thing because I know people that had family and it was still taking them forever. So I'm like, I just
things out of your control. Right. Yeah, totally out of your control that,
I definitely think that's a great point you made up because like people, they want to make, it's like you want to come into GovTech, you want to make a lot of money. You're going to be making some good money, if you get the right role. But then it's like, if you're making your money because you want to travel, you want to see the world, you are going to be limited, So it's like, okay, what's the trade-offs? Definitely.
Right. Yeah. Right. You're definitely trading that for, it used to be stable. Today, a little bit.
Right.
little bit different. And then we'll just wrap it up with this one. And you can see this as good and bad, but don't get into any kind of financial debt.
Oh. There it is, right there.
Right, the government is you're being tracked.
Right, they're literally all in your business, man. It's like what happened, man?
Right,
you owe who?
Right,
nah, man. You might take a payoff.
Right. So again, it's for a good reason, right? Because you got to think about the insider threat and the motivations that people have when it comes to, let's say, getting out of debt. And if you default on, some kind of credit card or you have a low credit score or any of that, that is an indication that you are a risk. So I say that to say, one, get your okay. I was going to say get your money up, but that's neither here nor there. Like you might get your debt down.
You might get your money up too much. They're like, where that money come from?
Right, that is an indication too. But get your debt down. That way you're not in financial trouble. At the same time, that's the way that we want to live anyways. Right. We want to be debt free. We want to not live paycheck to paycheck. Right. I'm not saying that if you live paycheck to paycheck, you can't get a clearance. But if you fall into trouble, there can be trouble with your clearance.
I know you said you were going to kind of. I have one more topic that I can kind of bring up, and it's something that I think we both forgot about because, like, it's just nothing we would think of. But I've heard a lot of people decide I'm gonna get out of this space for it's gonna sound like a ridiculous reason, but some people they want to smoke marijuana or they want to, they're like, oh, but that's something that you can't do, you can't touch, even though it's legal now at some places.
Right,
can't do it.
Yeah.
Right. And some people are like, hey man, I want to chill. I want to go be a hippie.
Yeah.
And if that's your lifestyle, that's what you like to do. You want to be in the GovTech space. Can't do it. I know a lot of people who never wanted to join the military, any of those things, because like that's their life, But they like, so even when you're working in these government jobs where you have to have a clearance, Can't do it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That ain't my problem. That ain't ever my issue. That's why,
That's what I'm saying. We didn't think of it, but I was like, there's a lot of people who might try to come into this space and they're like, okay, I'll take a drug test or whatever. But it's like, no, it's never. Because then you're going to, like you say, you're going to have your clearances, you're going to have the investigation. They're going to ask you. Yeah. They possibly might ask you about that, right? So,
They asking about your past. So, again, it sounds, you hear it on YouTube, and it sounds so simple, so easy, and it sounds like the way to go. But just understand that there are things that you will be giving up in order to get that job. But that's with any kind of job, I guess.
Right.
At the same time, understand that you are less free than you thought you were before.
Right. I mean, you going back to your parents' house.
Yeah.
That's what I call it.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on the GovTech space and getting a job in the GovTech space, and the sacrifices or the things that you may have to give up in order to actually stay and work in the government space? Do you feel like that's something that you are just not willing to do in order to get a government job? You're not willing to, give up the weed.
What does Stephen A. Smith say? I don't know. Stay off the weed. Shout out to Stephen A. Some people won't do it, man.
Yeah. Yeah. But what are your thoughts? This is Just Our Tech Sense. I'm WillDoesTech.
JohnnieTech.
And we'll talk to y'all later.
Out.